We call ourselves the Face Visualization Company. 8 months ago, we launched our first product. It's an engine called LiftMagic. Essentially, to put it very simply, what it does is it allows users to upload a photo, and automatically, in less than a second, it shows different cosmetic products on the user's faces. For example, it can show what someone would look like with Botox, with a facelift, with a weight reduction. So whatever treatment you can imagine that affects a face, we can automatically show it on a user's face in less than a second. Now this work, it's a simple application, but it's actually based on over a decade of research. It starts in computer vision research. I was a PhD student at Stanford when I started this 10 years ago. After I received my PhD, I became a professor at the University of Toronto 8 years ago, and since then, and approximately 15 PhD students after, we've worked on technology that can automate this process. The key is to do it fully automatically and make the results look completely realistic. We've filed a total of 8 patents so far on this technology. So let me show you what I mean by different cosmetic treatments. So here's an example face. So what we first will do, the first I'll show, on the forehead you see a slight line. We'll go ahead and get rid of this line. We'll then go to the side of the eyes, the crow's feet. We'll get rid of this as well. We'll go under the eyes. There's some small lines there. We'll get rid of this as well. Again, for each of these, there are different cosmetic products that can actually visualize this. For example, Botox, Restylane, and so on. But I'll just show you the basic effects. For smile lines, which is one of the major signs of aging, dermal fillers lift and provide volume. So we can visualize this entire process. Again, there's lift and volume being added in. We can also do an eyebrow lift. So again, it really, any potential effect, lip volume being added in, lip outer edges being raised. We can also show weight reduction. On this photo, it's perhaps not the best case, but it can be shown. So let me just show a very slight weight reduction. Again, this is very small. And nose reduction as well. So this is the final result. This was the original photo. And final result. You could have probably done this in Photoshop or many different applications in about a minute or 2 minutes. But the thing is that this was actually done. All these 14 different operations that you saw, it took off a few pounds and a few years, were done completely automatically. Means the user didn't do anything. They didn't even click once. And it was done in less than a second online with our application. And that's the hard part. The automation and the computational efficiency is what makes this rather difficult. So why do this, and how does this make money? How do you base a company on this? Since we launched this 8 months ago, over 1 million unique people have used our visualization tools, meaning they've uploaded photos and tried this on their own pictures. We've also partnered with major Fortune 500 companies such as Allergan and Modiface. These are the makers of Botox and Restylane. We provide a tool on their site where users upload photos and they can see, for example, what they would look like with Botox or competitive products as well. This is an example of the Modiface site. They make a product called Restylane. So users can upload a photo, they choose where they want Restylane applied, and with one click they get a report that shows them before and after photos. And they can email that to themselves or print it out themselves. So this technology that we developed a year ago, for the past 8 months, we've received a lot of feedback from the partners and the 1 million people that have used this. They've told us what they liked about it and what they didn't like. So we've listened to them, and we have actually improved the technology. And we're announcing a brand new version of our tool. It's LiftMagic version 2.1, and there are some major differences. The first is that before, when we actually cleared wrinkles or acne or whatever else you might have on the face, there was a slight amount of blurring, as indicated in the top middle photo. The new algorithm actually learns the texture of the skin and retextures the skin in a realistic fashion, which is what you see on the top right. The end result is meant to look entirely realistic. We also process photos at 1 megapixels per face, so very fine details are preserved with our processing technology. And we now compensate for tilts and rotations, so you don't need a straight face. You can be looking to the side, or your face could be rotated, and it still actually works. Here's an example. The before is shown on the left, the new after is shown on the right. Again, the end result is it has to look realistic, and it's generated fully automatically. Here are a few before and after samples. On the top, you see the before images. On the bottom, you see the after images. And again, the goal is for it to look realistic. Now, some of these noses are too small, but that can all be tailor-made depending on what our partners really want. But the goal is to really airbrush these photos fully automatically. That's essentially what we do. Now, for 1 minute, I'll describe our technology. When someone uploads a photo, what actually happens by the time they see a visualization? The first thing our technology does is that it actually finds the face, and not just where a face is, but the exact edge of the contour of the face and the hairline. We need to know this information precisely. The next thing we do is we find the eyes and lips, again precisely. These are anchor points to the face. Imagine these are sort of navigation beacons on the face as to where we will process. We then have an algorithm that learns the texture of the skin, learns what is this person's skin actually, what does it look like, and then we go systematically throughout the face, depending on some default levels, making changes. And that's where you see the final result. Now, for this technology, we have some outcomes that we expect, some expectations based on LiftMagic version 2.1. I mentioned to you that we have a few partners before. Well, I will be in the next 6 months announcing a total of 8 major new partnerships. These are with Fortune 500 companies that will be using our technology on their website to show their potential customers what they would look like with their cream or their treatment or weight loss treatment. The second thing we're doing is actually, right now, this is an online tool, just used so people can go online and use these applications. We're actually launching an internet kiosk line that takes these same applications that are online and makes them readily usable at events and shows and at doctors' offices. So you can actually put this fully interactive kiosk, which someone would actually approach, takes a photo, and it generates before and after pictures. Doctors already have devices like this for visualization in their office, but this is meant to be, again, fully automated and much more easier to use. The final thing, I'm sure this will get a few laughs as well, that I'd like to just mention is that they say that a camera usually adds a few pounds, and maybe adds possibly a few years as well. Well, what if there was a digital camera that didn't really have to? What I mean is, what if there was a digital camera that would take a photo, here's a photo of my mom and her dog, and would automatically find a face in the photo, and would make very slight adjustments, nothing too drastic, but would just, for example, find a face, and just make a very slight change. So, if there's a single line that someone doesn't like, or single, whatever that might be, this camera will automatically process the photo before it's even captured. So this is actually, we've developed the hardware, well, the Verilog aspect of this, and so this is something that we're in discussion with partners, potentially put this in future digital cameras. No visualization is ever perfect, so there will always be deviations, and anyone who uses our technology actually has to sign a waiver that this isn't, they know this is real. But we've actually developed this in consultation with plastic surgeons. So we sat down with plastic surgeons from Allergan and Modiface, and we went through many iterations of this to actually get it to be as close to something that's realistic as possible. So it's not just something we made ourselves.